Welcome to Garin Tudu, a lively town known for its warm smiles, open markets, and the mouth-watering smell of roasted meat that floated through its streets every evening. Travelers came from far and near, not just to trade, but to taste the legendary Suya that had made the town famous. But beneath the smoke and spice of success lay a secret so dark that when it finally surfaced, Garin Tudu would never be the same again. No one in Garin Tudu ever questioned the source of Salihu's Suya. No one except Zainab. Salihu was a quiet, soft-spoken man who rarely spoke unless he was calling customers or smiling politely as he handed over skewers of sizzling meat. His Suya was irresistible, tender, spicy, cheap, and strangely addictive. The aroma alone could pull people off the road like magic. Within months of arriving in Garin Tudu, Salihu became the town's favorite vendor. Older Suya sellers grew bitter. Customers abandoned them completely, complaining that their prices were too high and their meat too dry. Yet even they could not deny that Salihu's Suya tasted different, better. Many tried to discover his secret recipe, but Salihu guarded it fiercely. What confused everyone most was the price. Despite the rising cost of meat, Salihu sold his Suya at half the usual rate. People praised him as kind and selfless, while other vendors were labeled greedy. Slowly, one by one, competitors shut down their businesses. Salihu's success exploded. He moved from a roadside table to a small shop, then opened stalls at 3 major bus stops. Long queues formed before sunset. Customers shouted eagerly, "Malam, make it peppery. Abeg, no forget my own, oh." But despite hiring 3 assistants, Salihu insisted on doing the meat preparation himself. He bought, washed, boiled, and cut the meat alone in his house before distributing it to his stalls. His workers were only allowed to roast and sell. This raised questions. One of the workers, Kabiru, became especially suspicious. He believed Salihu was overworking himself unnecessarily and offered to help with the meat preparation. Salihu refused sharply every time. One morning, Kabiru decided to follow Salihu secretly. When he arrived early at Salihu's house, the door was slightly open. Inside, Salihu was already cutting meat, but something felt wrong. Before Kabiru could understand what he was seeing, Salihu noticed him. Panic flashed across his face, quickly replaced by rage. He shouted Kabiru out of the house and fired him on the spot. Kabiru left confused and hurt. Weeks later, he found work with Hassan, the owner of the second most popular Suya spot in town. After hearing Kabiru's story, Hassan became deeply suspicious of Salihu. Hassan said, "Something about that man isn't clean, and one day the truth will come out." Months passed. On the chief's birthday, the entire town gathered at the palace. Salihu was hired to provide Suya for the celebration. The crowd was massive, and Salihu worked until exhaustion before returning home to rest. That night, rumors spread like wildfire. They say Salihu buys human parts. That meat looks like human flesh. Is that why it's so cheap? An angry crowd stormed Salihu's house and dragged him to the palace. Strange bones had been found near his compound. When questioned, Salihu broke down in tears, claiming it was a setup by jealous competitors. Moved by his cries, the chief released him. Most people believed him, but Hassan did not. A year later, Salihu met Zainab, a stunning young woman whose laughter caught his heart instantly. Their love story spread through Garin Tudu like sweet gossip. Salihu spoiled her with gifts, money, and affection. He transformed her life completely. Yet there was one rule: Zainab was never allowed in his house. He claimed the place smelled of raw meat and promised to buy her a new house someday. Zainab accepted this until curiosity and doubt took over. One afternoon, she stole his house key. Inside Salihu's home, she hid quietly and watched as he opened a massive freezer. What she saw shattered her soul. Human arms, legs, heads, different faces, men, women, even children stacked like frozen goods. Zainab collapsed in tears. She had been sent to get close to Salihu as part of a secret investigation, but somewhere along the line, she had truly fallen in love with him. A sound fell. Salihu turned. Their eyes met. "Why?" Zainab whispered through tears. Salihu said nothing. Zainab ran straight to Hassan and told him everything. That same night, Salihu was arrested. His freezer revealed undeniable proof. At the palace, he confessed. For years, he had lured homeless people with promises of food and shelter and turned them into profit. The town was shattered. People gagged at the thought of what they had eaten for years. Salihu was sentenced to life imprisonment, and Suya was permanently banned in Garin Tudu. Zainab disappeared from the town, broken by love and guilt. Moral: not everything cheap is a blessing. Not every smile is innocent. And sometimes the things we enjoy most hide the darkest secrets. Be careful where you buy your food.